last couple of days of the 250 being all put together and everything. Gonna be tearing the thing completely down and rebuilding everything, doing as much as I can, replating every bolt, axle, nut, anything that I don't want to buy brand new and replace, I'll get plated back, and everything else that's within the budget's gonna get bought and put on the bike and changed. Only things that I definitely want to spend money on and keep good on the bike, number one is the suspension. That's gonna has to be rebuilt for sure. Hopefully it's not too shot. I'm actually running 125 forks, the spare kit I got from when I bought that bike about 5 or 6 years ago, and a spare rear shock too. The suspension that was in there, it hadn't been changed since 2002. If I can find the shock, I'll show the last service date. Yeah, right over here. Yeah, this was due for service on May 15th of 2002. I don't even know if the internals are good or not, but I'll just have to cross that bridge when I get there. Definitely gonna get new rims and spokes. Probably just end up reusing the hubs, but keeping the old wheels. I don't know, I might see if I can find a cheap pair of hubs so I could just get those vapor blasted and have a spare set of wheels on me no matter what, if I just get a flat or something and don't feel like changing a tire. Definitely getting a Pro Circuit Works pipe for this. As far as the engine goes, it's going to be stock, no porting or changing the compression, except for I do believe I'm going to use an Apex head on here, but not run the high compression one. And I have all the parts bought. I'm going to send it off to a builder to get an OEM crank in there. I do believe I have an OEM piston that I can buy. That should be new. Definitely going to get the cylinder replated and sized and fit for the piston I send out with it. Gas tank was leaking too, so that was another kind of unexpected thing. That's going to be over $200 just to replace that. And I do believe I'm just going to put probably put a Hinson clutch in there, because I'm sure the basket has notching in it, and a Hinson clutch is actually stronger than OE anyways, so I'm just going to spend the money on that. I think it'll be well worth it. Up front, it's definitely going to be a whole new wheel. Probably going to see if I can get another pair of hubs, like I said, so I can keep a spare front wheel too. They shouldn't be that expensive. And obviously I'm going to get a Excel rim and spoke kit for the front. Yeah, I think that should be about it. I mean, I'm going to try to make the 250 basically look exactly like this, same graphics and everything. See, I think I forgot to mention the swing arm. That's definitely going to be vapor blasted and polished, and same thing with the linkage, and all the aluminum parts are definitely going to be vapor blasted and polished to look as clean as possible. And all in all, I'm just really hoping to have a bike that definitely looks good, but I think on top of anything else, just reliability. I mean, I want a bike that just starts first kick every time, no issues. That's basically what I have the 125 down to as. The jetting it's pretty damn good. I'm not gonna say it's spot on. I'm sure it could be tweaked a little here and there, but it starts up every time. Every time I pull a piston. I had about 30 hours on this piston. I mean, that looks pretty good, and the cylinder looked just as good. A lot of oil on the cylinder, so it's holding lubrication on the walls. But basically, I love how reliable this bike is. and it actually has some pretty good power to it for a stock 125. I really enjoyed that bike. I love it. I probably enjoy riding it more than a 250, but I definitely want to get a lot of experience riding a 250. I think in the long run it's going to be easier riding tracks just because it's got a little bit more power, a little more torque. And I don't really think the weight difference is too much. But I've spent a lot of time riding it in the pits this winter, and it wasn't really in the greatest of shape, but it was definitely good enough to ride safely. And I really liked how I felt riding on it, and definitely justified rebuilding it and spending the money to make it nice. That's probably the plan with this. I'll build this up real nice and probably use it for another 3 to 5 years, and I think after that 5th year I'll probably just buy a much newer 252 stroke, and keep this just as a spare or practice bike. But I mean, I'm really excited to build this bike and to be able to ride it. I think it's going to come out great, and I'm definitely going to take my time, do everything as nice as I can, as neat as I can, even if that means having to wait a couple of extra days because you forgot to order one part. But in the meantime, I have the 125, and that's good to go. So I think if I can find the time to put 4 to 6 hours a week into this, it should definitely be ready sometime by the end of the summer. We'll see how it goes.